And you can stay right there, Albert. Stay right there. Margaret.
Okay.
And Stryker. Stryker, take there. And Margaret, right here. These are two great guests, and they've been on our show before, but they had to schlep out to Long Beach. Now they're in Suffolk, so they don't have to travel as far. And he's a therapist and works in the...
Well, I'm a hypnotist and a motivational speaker.
And there you go. And we have Margaret Marshall, who wrote a book about nutrition. And let's welcome in Stryker Corbin and Margaret Marshall.
Yes.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Thank you.
Margaret, Thanksgiving is coming, and Americans tend to overeat. Talk about the importance of not overeating and some holiday rules that you think are important to stress this time of year.
Okay, well, you know, Thanksgiving is an eating holiday, and you have to realize that your eating is different on a holiday. It's not your normal, everyday eating. So it will be a little bit more. My microphone's working. The national average weight gain between Halloween and New Year's Day is 13 pounds. So if you want to awake on New Year's Day already feeling renewed, there are some steps that you can take, and they're really simple steps. And I have a holiday eating survival guide that if you want to send me an email, I will send you out the guide with all these simple steps on them. One of them I will tell you is to pay attention to your breathing while you're eating. When you start to sigh or you breathe a little deeper, you've eaten enough, only your body hasn't told your brain that yet. So pay attention to your breathing. You can send me an email at margaret@margaretmarshallassociates.com, and I will send you my holiday eating survival guide, and it will help you to learn how to eat without overdoing for the holiday season.
Stryker, let's get your input on that, because you work with a lot of people, hypnosis, and I got to believe that people, you know, one of the big New Year's resolutions is I'm going to lose weight. Talk about the holidays and people's problem with eating too much and gaining weight and worrying about, you know, with all the parties and things that come up this time of year.
Sure. I think, Howie, one of the things you want to do is you want to start to think like a healthy person. You want to have the mindset of a healthy, fit individual. And I don't look at Thanksgiving as a day in which I can just pig out and eat whatever I want, like it's never going to be there for me again. You want to start thinking like someone who really respects their body and take on the mindset of a healthy, fit individual. Margaret's right. You can do certain things to watch your breathing or pay attention to what you're eating, but overall you want to live your life as if you respect your body. You're eating to nourish your body. Right. You're eating to respect your body, not eating to say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so out of shape. I really feel bad about myself." People need to really take control of the way they're thinking about themselves and thinking in general, and take on that mindset of someone who's healthy.
And can I just add, that's what my book is all about, Body, Mind, and Mouth, of Life's Eating Connection. That's exactly what I talk about, Stryker, because I could not agree with you more.
I'm not surprised. I'm pretty on top of this.
You guys are also motivational speakers. I want to know your gut reaction, Stryker, listening to Albert and what he has to bring to the table.
My gut reaction is it's not surprising in some respect. People aren't thinking for themselves. People are not being independent thinkers. And what's happening in the case of the stewardess, or the flight attendant, excuse me, is that people really aren't using common sense anymore. They're using fear or worry or how does this affect me, instead of stepping back from the situation and rather than doing what she's been told to do or these are the rules. Clearly, she just needs to take a second, maybe Margaret's tip is right, focus on her breathing, settle herself down, and allow herself to say, wait, what's the common sense solution here? What really is the threat? And how do I get to a place in which everyone is satisfied in this situation? You have to start thinking for yourself instead of using fear or being worried about the ramifications.
Margaret, your thoughts?
Well, I'm shaking my head here because I couldn't agree more. You know, these large companies, they have all these policies that their employees must follow. And so these employees are so afraid not to follow the policy. And off the top of my head, wasn't it just a large store? I don't know if I can mention the name of the store.
Sure, okay.
I don't know if I'm right with the name of the store, but wasn't it just in the news recently where someone was having a heart attack in a store and the employees could not help because it wasn't in their policy?
Oh, that's awful.
Right?
There's a lot of that going on.
Wasn't that just, so I'm thinking that's what happened with you, that this woman was following the rules that she was taught. And Stryker's right, not thinking for herself, not using her common sense, and not seeing really the entire picture.
Well, if I can interject here,
sure, go ahead.
I think it's a combination of a few things. I think there are policies in place, but there are federal laws that govern this issue, And what happens is a lot of times some flight attendants, not all flight attendants, tend to take these policies and regulations and turn, as my friend Sheila Styron said, turn the plane into their little fiefdom, where they are the end-all and be-all, and they take liberties with policies and tell us where we have to sit, when we can sit, and if we don't do it their way, the door's that way. And this is more about people's misinterpretation and misuse of policies. And again, to Stryker's point about fear, they want to make me fearful while I fly, bless you, and they don't want us to actually think independently, which is what she was actually doing, and she took it upon herself to just force the issue with me.
Absolutely. Stryker, I'm always fascinated about hypnosis. Talk about how hypnosis can make a difference, an impact on someone's life.
I think what happens, in particular in my practice, is I get people after a long discussion, I start to really get them into a focused, relaxed state of mind and body. And when you're relaxed, when you really block out all of the garbage of the day or of your life or mistakes you think you've made in the past, it's a great time to hear truth. It's a great time to reflect upon what you desire. And when you hear my voice telling you that you're fit, you're healthy, you want to make a better choice for yourself, you really connect with that, if that's what you want. A hypnotist can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. But if it's truly what you want to be, you've got to start to let that voice inside your head be your own best friend. You've got to be talking to yourself with positive affirmations instead of focusing on all the times you failed and all the times you've struggled in the past. And just realize that you're in complete control of your life. I truly believe that each one of us is in complete control of our destinies, and your thoughts and emotions will create that reality.
Margaret?
You know, I couldn't agree more. Not that I do hypnosis. I have been hypnotized before, and I found it fascinating. But, you know, in our lives, so many things come as roadblocks in our lives. But, you know, I agree with Stryker. It's what you're saying to yourself. It's what you're thinking. It's your belief in your own abilities and capabilities. And when you have that, it's amazing how these roadblocks, you can knock them over and you can just keep moving forward.
Absolutely.
You can get through them even with your eyes closed.
Hey, guys, you know,
That's a great point.
we're here out in Babylon, and we've brought three great guests from Suffolk County, Margaret Marshall, Albert Rizzi, Stryker Corbin. Are these guys impressive?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, I'm going to ask Margaret, Albert, and Stryker a question. What do you think of having an 8th grader who's going to come up in our next segment, do a report on Long Beach history? A person that young, so passionate about talking about history. How cool is that?
I just love that he can talk, you know, and express himself and facts and interesting.
What do you think of that, Stryker?
I think it's great. Every time someone has a passion like that, they should be encouraged to follow it, and I appreciate you doing that.
All right, so we're going to have, after the break, we're going to have Christopher Murdy talk about Long Beach history, and the top singers are going to add a great song as we bring music to the discussion. Is everyone enjoying the show?
Yes, sir.
All right, excellent. We're going to take our second break of the evening. I am Halftime Howie. This is Broadcasting on the Beach with Halftime Howie. Coming to you live from our studio in Babylon, the first and oldest station in Long Island, AM 1240, WGBB.